जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Welcome back. We are on verse number 12 of chapter number 1 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And in this verse, we see that Bhishma Pitama, he blew his conch shell very loudly. So far what happened was Duryodhan was giving the description of both the army, and then in the last verse, in the 11th verse, Duryodhan says that everyone needs to protect Bhishma Pitamaha. So seeing all this, Bhishma Dev gets frustrated and he is thinking, then what is the use of all this discussion? We have come here to fight, and let's fight. Enough of politics. So keeping this in mind, to bring joy to the heart of Duryodhan, the elderly Pitamaha of the Kuru dynasty, Bhishma Pitamaha. Of course, he is in the same generation as the grandfather, though he is not the actual grandfather. So he blew his conch shell, and that sounded like a roar of a lion. So let's read the verse. Tasya sanjayanam harsham kuru vriddha pitamaha simhanadam vinodyachai sankam dadmau pratamavan. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. So as we said, that Bhishma Pitama, who was not interested, he was a great fighter, he was not interested in all this politics, what was going on in the battlefield. So Bhishma Pitama got frustrated, and he's seeing that everyone has assembled here to fight. So he's thinking, then let's get into the fight and let's get it done. So what is the use of all this? We have come here to fight. Let's fight and keep aside all the politics. So this is what is the thought of Bhishma Dev when he blew his conch shell out of the frustration. So if we see that, in Mahabharata, Bhishma Pitama is a extraordinary character. He's an extraordinary character of sacrifice. So Bhishma Pitama was, he Ajivan means the entire life he was brahmachari. Right? And he was living among the Kshatriyas and in the midst of royal opulence. So in the kingdom of Kuru, there was so much pleasure available for the Kshatriyas in terms of women and in terms of maidservant. But though he was there, he maintained his celibacy, and that is kind of impossible for anyone to do. So he stayed right in the palace in the middle of all the material opulence and stayed as a brahmachari. So this requires enormous willpower. And why he had taken the vow? So he had taken the vow actually to give happiness to his father, Shantanu. So this was actually part of Lord's pastime. He took a vow that as long as I live, I will protect the ruling king of the Kuru dynasty. And he could have never conceived that one day, he will have to fight for the evil Duryodhana and against his most beloved Pandavas. Yeah. So he also said that he was conquered by the money of the Kurus because they lived with them, and he had eaten their salt. So these are the reasons that he actually didn't fight from the side of the Pandavas. He fought from the side of the Kauravas. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described that the actual reason is that the Lord actually wanted Bhishma to fight on the side of the Kauravas, and the reason why was through Bhishma, Lord wanted to teach us a lesson that no matter how powerful a person, even at the caliber of Bhishma Dev, and if the person actually opposes the plan of the Lord and he is not on the side of Dharma, then they cannot succeed. They will be destroyed. So it will just give a idea about how powerful Bhishma Pitama was. That Bhishma had a tremendous power. He defeated all the Kshatriyas. Whenever he had a fight against any of the enemies, he defeated them. Nobody could win against him, including his guru. His guru was Parshuram, from whom he learned all the military art. So he actually fought with Parshuram for 27 days. And who is Parshuram? The Parshuram is an incarnation of the Lord himself, and he has killed the Kshatriyas all over the world 21 times. So Bhishma was such a powerful that he had a fight with Parshuram, and Parshuram couldn't win against him. So Bhishma actually he took up this thankless task, the task for which he will be always misunderstood in the all time to come. Right? And when in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Duryodhana heard the conch shell which was blown by Bhishma, he thought that Bhishma is eager to fight. So that actually made Duryodhana very happy. He thought that I had offered respect to Bhishma Pitama by his words, and now Bhishma Pitama, by hearing his glories, he is actually eager to fight. But that was not the case. Bhishma Pitama became impatient, and the blowing of the conch shell indicates that the beginning of the war or the fight is now confirmed. It is going to happen. So conch shells are generally blown for any auspicious or the beginning of any auspicious occasion, like we see in the temple, that the beginning of the arti or the start of the arti, the conch shell is blown. So this indicates that some important event is going to happen, and for the invoking the auspiciousness, the conch shell is blown. So let's see what Srila Prabhupada has to give in the purport of this particular verse. So Prabhupada says the Bhishma's compassion for Duryodhana, the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, could understand the inner meaning of the heart of his grandson Duryodhana. And out of his natural compassion, he tried to cheer him by blowing his conch shell very loudly. So each of these warriors, along with their all kind of fighting instruments, they also had their own conch shell. So if you see here, there's a conch shell of Bhishma. So similarly, all the warriors had their own conch shell, befitting his position as a lion. So because he was so strong, he was very strong like a lion. So he comes out like a lion. He roars. The conch shell, the blowing of the conch shell was like a roar of a lion. Indirectly, by the symbolism of the conch shell, he informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle because the Supreme Lord Krishna was on the other side. So this part actually Duryodhana forget when he mentions about the warrior, that Krishna is on the side of the Pandavas, and wherever there is Krishna, there is always victory and opulence. That is given by Sanjay, spoken by Sanjay at the end of Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada is saying the depressed grandson Duryodhana, because Duryodhana was, as we discussed in earlier few verses, that he was fearful by seeing the army, the military arrangement which was made by Drishtadumna and the Pandavas. He saw that and he was fearful, and he was also frustrated that many of the kings which were on the other side were supposed to join Duryodhana. He was expecting them to be on the Kaurava side, but they joined the Pandava side. So this is the reason he was kind of depressed. And here, by blowing the conch shell by Bhishma Pitama, it's an indication that your end has started. The beginning of your end has begun, right? But still, it was his duty to conduct the fight. So, because he was a Kshatriya, and Kshatriyas, no matter under whatever condition they are, they will perform their duty. He was one of the topmost of Kshatriya, so he is definitely going to do his duty. So, as a matter of duty, as an act of duty, it was his duty to conduct the fight, and no pains would be spared in that connection. So, he will not, he will fight. He will give his best to fight this particular war, where from whatever side he's fighting, that doesn't matter. So now he has chosen to fight from the Kaurava side, so he'll give his best to fight and try to win the war. So this is the mental state of the advanced Kshatriyas. So after this, everyone else also start blowing their conch shell. That will be discussed in the next verse. So with this, we'll stop here and we'll continue our discussion in the next verse. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.